stress. It's something we all experience, and it's something we all have to deal with one way or another. For some, coping with stress can be easier than it is for others, but everyone has a way that works best for them. Like for me, listening to music helps. I find my center, I focus on clearing out the obstacles in my way. Once those obstacles are removed, then my stress levels go back to normal. For me, I need to actually eliminate the tasks that I piled on to my to-do list to actually lower my stress levels. Now, for a lot of people, though, it's simply about slowing down the movement a lot. And a lot of experts recommend taking a deep breath, maybe going for brief walks or counting backwards from 10. It's important to find out which method works best for you and when managing your stress, because letting it build up can have significant effects on your health, both in the short-term sense and the long-term. Now, in 1982, noted psychologist Professor Hans Seil published a paper on the study he did using rats who were introduced to significant amounts of stress. In this study, he found out that regardless of the source of the stress, the rats experienced the same level of damage from letting it build up over a prolonged amount of time as if they had an immediate stressful event. Now, as a conclusion, Seil combined the term general adaptation syndrome, or GAS, refers to basically three distinct phases of psychological change that occurs in response to long-term stress. It boils down to these three factors: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. Basically, when a stressful event first occurs, the body's hypothalamus and pituitary glands, they begin to secrete adrenaline chemicals like cortisol, which is a stress hormone that releases sugar into the blood, helping you prepare the body to respond to a threat. It's more commonly known as the fight or flight response, and we all have it. It's a survival tool. It is basic biology, and it runs in our DNA, and it's the same chemicals that we experienced when we were Cro-Magnon and Neanderthals trying to stay warm and keep our bellies full. The same chemical that animals like deer use to stay alert when the rest of their herd hears a predator approach. They all communicate with one another. It's how social creatures ensure their survival. But now that we've evolved past these stages of foundational survival, the overdose of these chemicals, this can actually be really harmful to our health. Now, once upon a time, our life expectancy was a fraction of what it is today, but now that we're no longer hunting for our own food and dealing with things like food shortages, disease, and famine, we need to minimize these stress levels and maintain our health for a longer lifespan. Across the board, however, prolonged stress is harmful in every aspect. It has significant effects on our mental health, being able to focus, and our psychological health, being able to feel well rested after sleeping. In extreme conditions, it can actually bring out physical shaking and stuttering or stammering with your words. For me, whenever I'm unable to take care of all my responsibilities in a day, it affects my sleep more than anything. So I need to find it. Essentially, I find it much harder for me to get a good night's rest, even though I can sleep 10, 12 hours in a day in those extreme situations. Now, over a prolonged period of time, this exhausts the body and can lower the immune system's ability to fight off physical ailments like colds, fevers, diseases, ultimately lowering life expectancy. So part of what we need to do is recognize what stresses us out, understand that managing that stress is the only way we're going to be able to actually provide better health benefits for ourselves. So find out what works best for you, like whether it be counting backwards from 10 or breathing nice and slowly, kind of getting your pulse back and getting your core stress levels to lower. Or if it's a matter of, like me, having to have task completion. For me, breathing doesn't work. Breathing stresses me out more because it's less time that I can be spending focusing on clearing out the tasks that I have at hand. For me, the stress comes from too many things to do, not enough time. So when I'm taking a minute to relax, that just stresses me out. Part of what we need to do as an organization is recognize what our stress points are and how to cope with those. Only then can we actually find peace, rest, we can focus on our health, and intrinsically grow as people. Thank you.